Swish! Sparkles. The baby dragon lifted his sleepy toothbrush and stared at the quiet mirror with big, worried eyes. Have you ever wondered why tiny bedtime worries feel bigger when the room gets soft and still? A tiny puff of warm dragon breath made a little cloudy heart on the glass. If Sparkle's cozy bedtime adventures make you smile, tap subscribe and join us for more gentle magic. Tonight, the moon was silver and round outside the window, Mama Dragon had folded the pajamas, Papa Dragon had fluffed the pillows, and everything was ready for sleep. But Sparkles was not looking at the moon. He was looking at his toothbrush. "What if my germy worries don't float away tonight?" he whispered. A bubble popped out of nowhere. Plip. Sparkles blinked. Then another bubble bounced up from the cup beside the sink. Plip. Plip. Inside the second bubble was the tiniest glowing hat. Sparkles gasped so softly that even the moon seemed to lean closer. "What do you think that means?" he asked, turning to you with his big, bright eyes. The toothbrush gave the tiniest shimmer. Then the cup beside the sink trembled. Then the toothpaste tube wriggled. Then, from the silver tap, a ribbon of pearly light curled into the air and tied itself into a tiny floating flag. Sparkles' mouth made a perfect little O. Something magical was about to happen. Mama Dragon came in with a warm towel over her arm and smiled. "Oh my," she said. "It looks like the Sleepy Toothbrush Parade is starting." "The what?" whispered Sparkles. Papa Dragon peeked around the door, careful and cozy, and nodded like this was very important news. "It only comes when a little dragon has bedtime jitters and a brave heart." Sparkles held his toothbrush closer. "My heart feels brave and wiggly." "That is still brave," said Mama Dragon. Just then, the bathroom window sparkled with soft pastel light, and in floated Twinkle, the unicorn, light as a moonbeam. Her mane swayed like a sleepy rainbow ribbon. Behind her hopped Nibbles the bunny, carrying a tiny star-shaped rinse cup balanced on his head. Bubbles the bluebird fluttered in next, with 3 round bubbles riding on her beak like shining pearls. A little woodland bunny peeped from the hallway with wide, kind eyes. And lumbering very gently at the back came cute Forest Bear, holding a folded washcloth like it was a royal blanket. Sparkle's cheeks warmed. "You came?" "Of course," said Twinkle the unicorn. "Parades are better with friends." "And bedtime is softer when no one tiptoes to it alone," said Bubbles the bluebird. Nibbles the bunny stood tall. "I brought extra coziness." Cute Forest Bear nodded once and whispered, "And back up Snuggles." Sparkles giggled. The worried wrinkle near his nose became much, much smaller. Then the toothbrush in his hand glowed again. This time, little sleepy lanterns bloomed all along its handle. Not bright lanterns, not loud lanterns, tiny moon mint lanterns. They bobbed in the air and made the floor shine with pale silver circles, like the parade path had just appeared. Twinkle the unicorn lowered her voice. "The Sleepy Toothbrush Parade only moves one way." "Where?" asked Sparkles. "Toward bed," said Mama Dragon. "But first," said Papa Dragon, "through the bubbly worry gate." Sparkles looked around fast. "Where's the gate?" Right above the sink, 2 ribbons of foam rose up, curved toward each other, and made a soft, glittery arch. At the top of the arch sat a tiny moon with a sleepy smile. Sparkles stared. The moon yawned. A puff of pepperminty cloud drifted down in the shape of a fluffy sheep. Nibbles the bunny tried to count it. He made it to 1. Then he yawned too. Everyone laughed. "Ready?" asked Mama Dragon. Sparkles looked at his toothbrush. He looked at the glowing gate. He looked at you. "Would you walk through the gate?" he asked. Then he took one brave little step. The moment Sparkles stepped under the arch, the toothbrushes appeared, not from drawers, not from shelves, from bubbles. One by one, tiny sleeping toothbrushes drifted out of the air, each wearing a soft, twinkly cap. Some had moon patterns, some had cloud patterns. One had the tiniest pair of wobbling bunny ears. They lined up behind Sparkles in a neat, cozy row. Tap, tap, tap. Not noisy taps, gentle little march taps. Twinkle the unicorn took the front beside Sparkles. Nibbles the bunny marched with tiny hops. Bubbles the bluebird flew above in a slow circle, letting silver feathers float down like bedtime snow. Cute Forest Bear marched last, so no one would feel left behind. The toothbrush lanterns dimmed and brightened like breathing. Sparkles took another step, then another, and the parade began. "This is the slowest parade ever," whispered Sparkles. "That is why it works," said Papa Dragon. The path of silver circles rolled from the sink to the mirror, from the mirror to the door, and from the door into the moonlit hallway. As Sparkles moved, little gray wisps floated up around him. One looked like a yawn he forgot to finish. One looked like a scribbly thought. One looked like a tiny cloud wearing a frown. Sparkles' eyes grew wide. "My worries," Mama Dragon nodded gently. "Only the floaty bedtime kind?" "Watch closely," said Bubbles the bluebird. Sparkles brushed in soft little circles. The first gray wisp touched a bubble. Pop. It turned into a silver star speck and drifted away. He brushed again. Another wisp touched another bubble. Pop. This one turned into a tiny moonfish that swam through the air and vanished into the nightlight. Nibbles. The bunny gasped so hard he almost lost his rinse cup. "Did you see that?" "What do you think the next worry will turn into?" Sparkles asked, smiling at you now. The parade moved past the hallway table where Papa Dragon had left a sleepy storybook. The pages rustled on their own and released paper butterflies made of moonlight. They fluttered around Sparkles' head once, then folded themselves into stars and rested on the wall. Twinkle the unicorn dipped her horn. A pale ribbon of sparkle traced the brushing rhythm in the air. Round and round, up and down, front and back, but never fast, never wild, only calm, only cozy, only like a lullaby you could hold. Sparkles followed the glowing ribbon. His brushing became smooth and gentle, like drawing circles on a cloud. Then the hallway floor changed. The silver circles stretched into tiny round puddles of light. Inside each one appeared a sleepy face, a bunny moon, a smiling berry, a drowsy little comet, even a tiny dragon face that winked at Sparkles and then yawned. Sparkles laughed again, and this time the sound bounced all the way to the stairs and came back softer. The little gray wisps were fewer now, but not gone. One larger wisp still floated above Sparkles' shoulder. It was shaped like a wobbling question mark. Sparkles slowed down. Twinkle the unicorn noticed first. "That one feels different." Sparkles nodded. "It's the worry that bedtime will be lonely after the lights go dim." For one quiet second, no one spoke. Then Woodland Bunny stepped forward from the side of the hallway and held out a tiny glowing night petal. "I keep one under my pillow," Woodland Bunny whispered. "It does not make noise. It just reminds me that the room is still full of love." Cute Forest Bear opened the folded washcloth. Inside was a soft little sleeping bell made of foam and starlight. "It rings without ringing," he said. Sparkles blinked. "How can a bell do that?" Cute Forest Bear smiled. "You feel it instead." Mama Dragon put one hand on Sparkles' shoulder. Papa Dragon knelt beside him so their eyes were level. "You are never the only heart in the house," Papa Dragon said quietly. "And even when everyone is still," Mama Dragon added, "love stays awake for a little while longer." The question mark worry bobbed once. Sparkles looked down at his toothbrush. Its moon mint lanterns had become brighter. Not bright bright. Brave bright. Then, at the end of the hallway, the biggest surprise of all appeared. A round door of bubbles slowly rose from the floor. Inside it shimmered a hidden room made entirely of bedtime mist. At its center stood a silver flower taller than Sparkles. Its petals were closed. Its stem glowed like moon milk. Tiny bubbles slept all around it. Twinkle the unicorn whispered, "The Dreambrush Bloom." Nibbles the bunny nearly squeaked. "I've only heard of it." Bubbles the bluebird tucked her wings close. "It opens when the softest brushing and the truest bedtime feeling meet." Sparkles looked up. "Me?" "You," said all his friends. The parade stepped closer. Slowly. Gently. One cozy march tap at a time. Sparkles could see his reflection in the bubble door now. He looked smaller than the flower. Smaller than the room. Smaller than the moon. But he did not look scared. He looked ready. The last gray wisp floated above him. The lonely one. The biggest one. The one shaped like a question. Sparkles took a breath. He brushed one more calm circle. Then one more. Then one more. The lanterns on his toothbrush glowed in perfect time with his heart. Bubbles lifted around him like a floating staircase. The question mark worry drifted down. Down. down until it touched the silver flower. For one tiny second, everything held still. Then the Dreambrush Bloom opened, its petals unfurled in moonlit layers of silver, lavender, and pale blue. From the center rose hundreds of tiny bubble lights. Inside each bubble was something warm: a pillow, a goodnight kiss, a sleepy story, a tucked-in blanket, a soft song, a friend's smile, a parent's hand, a moonbeam through a window. All the secret, cozy things that make bedtime feel safe. Sparkles' mouth opened in wonder. The lonely worry touched the first bubble light and changed. It did not become smoke. It did not disappear. It became a tiny glowing star with two little wings. It circled Sparkles once and rested gently on his pajama pocket. The hook had found its answer. Sleepy worries felt bigger in the quiet because they were waiting for something gentle to carry them home. And tonight, the parade had done exactly that. Sparkles looked at you with a bright, sleepy smile. Did you know worries can turn into bedtime stars? If your bedtime star could be any shape, what would you choose? Asked Bubbles the bluebird. A moon? A cloud? A bunny? Tell us in the comments. Nibbles the bunny pointed at Sparkles' pocket. That one likes you. The little winged star blinked once and tucked itself in. Then the bubble door melted into silver mist. The flower folded back into one glowing pearl and drifted into Sparkles' toothbrush handle, where it became the tiniest sleepy jewel. The parade path turned toward the bedroom. Now the march was even slower. Mama Dragon wrapped Sparkles in his warm pajamas. Papa Dragon lifted him high for one floating turn and lowered him into bed like he was setting a treasure into its special box. Twinkle the unicorn laid a ribbon of soft light across the blanket. Nibbles the bunny placed the star-shaped rinse cup on the bedside table like a badge of bedtime bravery. Bubbles the bluebird fluttered to the curtain rod and hummed a hush-hush tune so soft the air itself seemed to cuddle in closer. Woodland Bunny placed the glowing night petal near the pillow. Cute Forest Bear set the silent sleeping bell beside it. Sparkles snuggled down. The tiny winged star hopped from his pocket to the blanket and curled up by his hand. Mama Dragon brushed a kiss over his forehead. Papa Dragon tucked the blanket at his shoulders. Outside, the moon gave the window one last silver wink. Inside, every lantern, every bubble, every sparkle became smaller and softer and sleepier. Sparkles' eyes fluttered. Was the parade real? He murmured. Twinkle the unicorn smiled. The coziest magic always is. Sparkles yawned. One more question, he whispered, already halfway to dreamland. Will the worries come back? Mama Dragon's voice was warm as the blanket. Maybe tiny ones. Papa Dragon's voice was deep and gentle as a pillow. But now you know the way. Sparkles smiled. Round and round, up and down, front and back, then brush, brush, cuddle, cuddle, dream, dream. The tiny winged star gave one soft glow. Bubbles the bluebird hummed lower. Nibbles the bunny leaned against Cute Forest Bear and nearly fell asleep standing up. Woodland Bunny closed the door just enough to leave a moonbeam inside, and Sparkles, the baby dragon, who had worried the quiet might feel too big, floated peacefully into the softest sleep of all. Did you enjoy the adventure? Tap like and subscribe. Oh no. What happens next? Tap the next video. Trust me, this one's magical.